Why the fuck aren't they signing anybody, or are they trying to win this division or give it away?
They need to add. They lost Sonny Gray. They lost Kenta Maeda. Let's go. They need at least one guy who could at least be a slide into a number 2 spot in that rotation.
Even after winning their division last year and finally ending an 18-year drought without a win in the playoffs, the Minnesota Twins were still being heavily criticized walking into this season. Many believed that after a quiet offseason, the Minnesota Twins wouldn't be able to follow up their performance from last year and instead would be getting worse. Those people were wrong. The Minnesota Twins are looking like one of the best and most consistent teams in baseball right now and are still being overlooked by the MLB. After spending several days deep diving into their season, I can safely say that these Minnesota Twins are a lot better than you may think. What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel. In this one, we're going to be talking about what the Minnesota Twins are doing right now and how they are breaking baseball one game at a time. Before we get into it, I encourage you guys to hit the like and smash the subscribe button if you enjoy baseball content and discussion so you don't miss any future videos. Alright folks, let's get into it. So to really set the table and show just how strange this Twins season has been so far, let's start with the pitching. Now, if you're expecting me to go on some 2-minute long rant about how good their starters have been or how great their pitch sequencing is, then you would be wrong, because actually, they've kind of sucked this year.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Okay, maybe saying that they've sucked is a bit of an overreaction, but the Twins pitching on the season is currently ranked 19th in all of baseball with an ERA of 4.14. And when you look at the guys who are contributing to these numbers, there really isn't a whole lot to write home about. Pablo Lopez, their apparent ace, is having one of the worst years of his career and has an ERA over 5. Bailey Ober is doing okay, but definitely isn't overachieving, and Chris Paddock is, well, he's being Chris Paddock. All this being said, though, even with a lackluster pitching staff behind them, the Minnesota Twins on the year have yet to have a month where they didn't finish above 500 and have just been the mark of consistency. So how is it possible that the Minnesota Twins are currently making a push for their division lead when they have a pitching staff that's worse than the Washington Nationals? Well, simply put, these guys can hit. At the time of recording this video, the Twins have the 4th best team OPS in baseball at 755, but in the past 30 days have been significantly better than that and are leading MLB with an OPS of 861. And I think what's most impressive about all of this is that it's not just 1 or 2 guys. The New York Yankees this season are ranked very well in a lot of offensive categories, but in truth, most of that have come from just 2 guys, being Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, and if you can get those guys out, then it's sweet sailing for the rest of the lineup. The Twins, on the other hand, aren't like that at all, and they have a ton more depth. Ryan Jeffers, Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, Jose Miranda, and Willie Castro are all guys who have been extremely productive so far this year. And that's not even including one of the most impressive young stars in all of baseball, Royce Lewis. Royce Lewis, when he's on the field, is one of the most electric baseball players that I have ever seen. The big problem is, he is very rarely on the field. Lewis is on the injured list right now for an abductor strain, and this isn't the first time that he's been hurt this year. Even with all these injuries, though, he's still been able to put up some ridiculous numbers, and in 24 games played, he has 10 home runs this season. The good news for the Twins is that this second injury has actually allowed them the opportunity to bring up one of their top prospects, Brooks Lee, who has been amazing so far. The 23-year-old prospect for the Twins has looked like a pro, and in 10 games played has an OPS of 816. The Twins have depth, they have youth, and when Royce Lewis does come back, their lineup is gonna be freaking terrifying. But potentially the most impressive thing about this Minnesota Twins team is that they just never give up. Usually when a team gets down early, hitters will expand and get away from their approach, but not the Minnesota Twins. The Twins are the 2nd best hitting team in baseball when they're playing from behind, showing that they are never truly out of any ballgame. This Twins team is on a mission to prove all of the haters wrong once again, and with a couple smart moves at the trade deadline, they could go on one hell of a run. But folks, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.